Hi, welcome to Comet Computer Private Limited e-learning program of Azure Public Cloud Training. Myself, Ilan Chedian, Technical Director at Comet Computer Private Limited. So in this video, we'll be discussing how to create a Windows virtual machine using Azure PowerShell. So we'll move on to the demonstration. Uh, Earlier, we saw how to use the Azure PowerShell commandlets. And even for you to use this commandlets as a learner, if to learn the commandlets and to to see what are all the options available, what are all the other configurations available using the Azure PowerShell, I recommend you to use Azure IAC instead of that is use PowerShell IAC instead of PowerShell, because so with this we can have an advantage of finding the commandlets, what are the commands available. Okay, right now I want to see whether I'm logged in or not. So I use the command get hyphen az subscription. So if I am logged in already, it will list the subscription information. Since I am not logged in, so it is giving the error that run current connect hyphen az account to login. So that first initially we will start with uh, logging in. So here you can see whenever you type, it will show what are all the commandlets available starting with that letter. So as a learner, so that it will be easy for you to see what are all the commands available. And also here you can see the list of commands. So this is the complete list of commands which is available in Azure, so or in the PowerShell. So this is as a beginner, I suggest you to use this for your practice, so that you might not uh, type a wrong command, or you might not do some mistakes while typing the commands. Fine. So now I want to view what are all the uh, resource groups available. So in the previous video also we saw how to view the resource groups. So we have this much of resource groups. So now inside this resource group, I want to create a virtual machine. So because while creating a virtual machine, we need to define many attributes, many configurations has to be defined. So straight away when you type here, so the command will go a very long command. So instead of that, you can use this space to type your command. So where I can use new hyphen az vm space hyphen resource group. I'm sorry. Resource group name space and a double quotes give the resource group name rg01. So this is the resource group which we have created in the previous lab. So in that resource group, I want to create this virtual machine, and then hyphen name, and you can give whatever the name you want. I want to give the name VM01. And what else to be configured? I want to define the location and we need to define a virtual network name. So previously we don't have any virtual network created, so I want to create a new virtual network named vnet01, and I need to define the address space of the vnet. So type address prefix. So I want to define the address like this: 11.0.0.11.0.0.0/16. And what else to be defined? And we need to define the subnet for the vnet, isn't it? So hyphen subnet name. So subnet name, I want to give vnet 01 sn01, and hyphen subnet address prefix. I want to define 11.0.0.0/24. And what else to be defined? And we need to define the network security group. So security group name. So can give whatever the name you want. I want to give the name nsg01, and then space. We need to define a public IP address, and also we need to define the open ports. So I'll just give open ports. So what are all the ports you want to open in this using this NSG? I want to allow port 80, and also I want to allow 3389. So whatever the port you want to allow, you can define. And also we can define the public IP address, and the public IP address and name I want to give VM01 hyphen PIP. So you can give whatever the name you want. And you also need to define the operating system image, and I want to give, you can pick from this list or you can type. I want mm, Win 2019 data center. You can just pick from this list. So in this list we have 2016, 2012 and 2012 R2, not 2019. So that's why I'm typing this manually. So data center. And what else you need to define? You need to also define the size. So size of the instance is standard standard underscore. I want to use B2S. Okay, B2S. So whichever the size you want, you can find the list of sizes available from the Azure's portal. So now I have defined most of the configurations which I need. And also before that, I want to verify my Azure account. So inside the resource group, I'll just want to verify. Previously, we have just created a resource group RG01. So now we have the resource group, and also the resource group doesn't have any resource. So now after executing this command, so we need to get all the resources. So if you want to execute this line, just select this line and then you can press F8, or you can use this button. So that is run selection. So it'll ask for the credential, because while creating a virtual machine we need to enter the username and password for the Windows administrator. So I just type Comet as the username, and I want to type the password as something what I need and then press OK. So now the command is getting executed, and in meanwhile you can also see some of the resources being created here. Just wait for a while. So here you can see, so the command got executed and the resources are getting created. So with a single command, you can create the complete infrastructure. So earlier we created the VNet separately, we created a network security group separately, all the components we have created separately. But now with a single command, you can create all the required resources. So that's why we always say PowerShell is a very powerful utility for managing the infrastructure, even your on-premises infrastructure as well as your cloud infrastructure. And this Azure PowerShell plays a major role in automation. So we'll verify whether few other resources should have been created here. You can see here. So you can also notice the public IP name. What I gave is VM01P IP, and the virtual machine name I given VM01, and then NSG name also I have given NSG01. So whatever, and also for VNet I have given the name VNet01. So whatever we have defined in the uh, uh, PowerShell commandlet, so all the resources will get created. So this is how you can manage the PowerShell commandlet. So I always recommend you to do more practice, take different scenarios, take different options, and even if in this command if you haven't defined this size, what happens? You just try without defining the size, just see what happens. So if you are not defining any size here, by default DES1 series, a virtual machine will be created in DES1 series. That is the default size of a virtual machine, Windows virtual machine. So all these things you just try whatever the options available. You try all the options and you try with different combinations and different scenarios so that you can make yourself comfortable in this PowerShell Azure PowerShell commandlets. So definitely in your production environment, so you should be much comfortable with the PowerShell commandlets coming to the especially about the cloud environment. So now the creation of the resources is 100% completed. So now you can see here, you can see the complete report. So whatever the resources has been created, you can see here. Got it. So similarly, you can use the Azure commandlets to uh, manage the resources. Like you can start the virtual machine or you can stop the virtual machine. Uh, I'll just want to. Okay, I'm just into the wrong console now. Okay, if I want to stop the virtual machine, so right now we have created a virtual machine. So we'll just verify the virtual machine. So you can see the virtual machine is in running state. I want to stop this virtual machine. So for which you can use a command stop hyphen azvm and followed by the resource group name and followed by the resource group rg01 and then the name of the virtual machine 01. So it will ask for the confirmation. So this commandlet will stop the specified virtual machine. Do we want to confirm? Yes. you can see the status is deallocating. So this is how you can stop the virtual machine. So until the resources are deallocated, so the command will not get completed. Yeah, so now the status is stopped, and also you can see the command will get completed shortly. Similarly, you can also start a virtual machine. You can see the time when the command was executed and when the command was completed. So it took nearly 1.5 minutes to complete the stop process. And also, if you want to start a virtual machine, you can use the same command, start Azure AZVM. So you can see the status is starting. So this is how you can manage the power on and power off of a status of a virtual machine. Similarly, if you want to remove any resource, you can see the start time nearly it took less than a minute to start the virtual machine. If you want to remove the resources, like if you want to remove a virtual machine or a network security group, or if you want to remove the entire resource group, so we can use the command. I'll just use a command to remove the resource group. Just, so remove hyphen az resource. So resource group, and then give the name of the resource group. And also we can use force also. So due to some reason, if the resource group is not getting removed, we can also use hyphen force. So that will forcefully remove the resource. So I hope you become at least somewhat comfortable with using the PowerShell commandlets, especially Azure PowerShell commandlets, so that do more practice on this commandlets, so that you can become much comfortable and you can explore your experience with this PowerShell commandlets. So it'll take some more minutes to complete because it need to delete all the resources. So it'll take some more time. In the meanwhile, I'll just pause this video. So now you can see here some of the resources got deleted, which includes the virtual machine got deleted, and the rest of the resources will get deleted soon. And even in the activity log also you can verify the activities which happened in the uh, resource group. So you can see here, uh, yeah, deleting the virtual machine occurred 2 minutes earlier, and the rest of the resources will get removed soon. So now we can see most of the resources got deleted. So now the remaining is the public IP address, and then the resource group alone is available. So shortly the command should get completed. So now you can see the resource group has been deleted, and also the command was completed with the status true. So this is how we can use the PowerShell command, Azure PowerShell commandlets to manage the resources. So in the next video, we'll be discussing about Azure ARM. So ARM plays a major role in automation. So we'll discuss the ARM automation in the next video. Until then, bye bye.